Merlin Sports. It's that time of the week again, and our picks of the week are here. Let's start with Merlin's Lock of the Week. For our first matchup, we have the Tennessee Titans visiting Indianapolis to play the Colts in an AFC South battle. Now, both these teams sit at 2-2, and this is a big divisional game as all four teams in the division have identical 2-2 records. Tennessee is coming off a home win against the Cincinnati Bengals, while Indianapolis is coming off a home loss against the LA Rams. Tennessee has kept their games relatively close, with the exception of their blowout loss at Cleveland. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill has been useful, and star running back Derrick Henry has been the workhorse that powers this offense. Their two wins have been against the LA Chargers and the Cincinnati Bengals, pretty decent competition. They have performed as expected this season. Rookie Indianapolis quarterback Anthony Richardson has shown some great skill with his ability to run with the ball. He's been a handful and has kept opposing defenses on their toes. Their signature win of the season came in Baltimore, where they upset the Ravens in overtime. So they've shown they've got some game this season so far. So it appears that this game will be evenly matched. The key matchup to look out for will be if Indy can contain running back Derrick Henry, and I think Henry will be able to run on them and grind out a closely contested contest. Look for the Titans to bottle up the Colts offense and force Anthony Richardson into making some mistakes. I like Tennessee to cover the 2.5 points and win by at least a field goal. Next, let's turn our attention to the dog of the week. The Kansas City Chiefs take to the road and travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Now the Chiefs are a 3.5 point favorite in this game, and they just squeaked by the New York Jets last week. They sit at 3-1, but with the exception of a blowout win against the Chicago Bears, their games have been relatively close, and they've done just well enough to win, but they've not been super impressive. On the other side, the Vikings are coming off their first win of the season, defeating the Carolina Panthers. They sit at 1-3, but in typical Viking style, most of their games have been close. Quarterback Kirk Cousins and wide receiver Justin Jefferson have probably been the most dynamic quarterback-wide receiver duo this season. In this game, I see another close game, and I think the Vikings keep it competitive against the Chiefs. And although Kansas City is the better team, I believe Minnesota will keep it to a field goal or less. So take the Vikings to cover the 3.5 point spread at home. Next, we have our bonus pick of the week, and this week we are going into Pittsburgh, where the Baltimore Ravens come to town to pay the Steelers a visit in an AFC North divisional matchup. Baltimore is coming off an impressive beatdown victory over the Cleveland Browns, whereas the Steelers are coming off a lopsided loss in Houston against the Texans. The Ravens have been impressive this season. With the exception of their only loss in overtime to Indy, they've taken care of business as expected and sport a 3-1 record. The Steelers have been inconsistent with a 2-2 record. They've recorded a huge win against Cleveland 2 weeks ago, but followed it up with a dud against Houston last week. They're having trouble to score so far this season. I like the Ravens to grind out a road win in Pittsburgh. I think with their balance on defense and running and passing ability of Lamar Jackson on offense, it just proves to be too much for a Pittsburgh team that is having trouble scoring on offense. Steelers defense has been good, with TJ Watt being his usual wrecking ball self, but the only way they can win this game is if they get out in front early, because they're just not built to play from behind. So take the Ravens to win straight up, as I don't want to risk the points as it is a road game, and this division usually plays its games close. Well, that does it for this week's picks. Let's see how we did last week. We went a respectable 2-1, and our overall record stands at 8-4. Thanks for stopping by, and good luck to everyone this week.